surge in some warmth there, and that's what's typical this time of year. Late winter, well, I guess we don't say that anymore, do we? Early spring, you go up and down. That's to be expected. We'll show you the 7-day forecast, see which days are up and which are down coming up this year.
Hi, Dave, thanks. DTE had to shut down the Fermi 2 nuclear power plant in Frenchtown Township after a water leak was detected in the well that encloses the reactor. We're told automated systems kicked in early Thursday morning, shutting it down. The leak was found in the system that cools heat exchanges in the plant and not the reactor, which remains safe. Much more to come tonight. Still ahead, the governor making the rounds as he tries to convince voters to pass Proposal 1 to fix our crumbling roads. Before you vote, we'll show you what's really in it. And Dave Rexroth joins the mission to provide books to kids who can't see. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned with Channel 7. We'll be right back. And we just want to thank all of the viewers for continuing to watch us on Channel 7 Action News, WXYZ, and on YouTube, and etc. So far, we're doing quite well, and just remember that we are your #1 trusted news source for breaking news and severe weather and etc. and much more. You can always depend on WXYZ Channel 7 Action News to take action for you. We'll be back shortly. And once again, thank you for making Channel 7 Action News your #1 source for news and breaking news in Southeast Lower Michigan. Continue to watch Channel 7 Action News. We'll be right back after these messages. Thank you.
Michigan voters will be heading to the polls to vote on Proposal 1 this May, and the governor is in full campaign mode, pushing voters to say yes. Under the deal, the state sales tax will be raised from 6 to 7%. The state sales tax on fuel would be eliminated in exchange for raising the fuel tax to 42 cents a gallon. That will raise prices at the pump by about 9 cents a gallon. And here's another catch. For the first 2 years, an estimated $1.3 billion will be spent to pay off MDOT's debt, not fixing the roads. While lawmakers concede the plan isn't perfect, the governor brought a prop to convince our own editorial director, Chuck Stokes, that a yes vote is the way to go.
You brought a prop with you this time. You've been here a lot of times, but you've never had a prop.
I've never brought something for you. Well, I wouldn't call this a prop. This is actually something I brought to give you. And this illustrates the issue about the roads. Here's a piece of Michigan bridge.
Yeah, and that really fell from a bridge?
Yes. To see the governor's entire interview with Chuck Stokes, be sure to tune in tomorrow morning for Spotlight on the News at 10 a.m. right here on Channel 7.
Oh, and definitely we
City
will.
council members are holding their breath as they wait to learn if they'll be getting a pay raise. The decision will be made, but the Compensation Commission was is expected to meet Monday night. Some city council members argue that compared to other cities of the same size, they're underpaid. Right now, members make about $73,000 a year. The other argument they're using for a raise is that the pay was cut by 10% in 2010 and was never restored. And there's more to come. Still ahead, the latest on an intense situation at the New Orleans airport where a man with a machete went after TSA agents. And a live look from our tower camera tonight here in Southfield. Hey, Rexroth returns to tell us what to expect the rest of the weekend.
The 7 First Alert forecast is up next on Channel 7. Stay tuned.
Fire investigators believe a hot plate may be to blame for a tragic overnight fire in Brooklyn, which claimed the lives of 7 children. Victims ages 5 to 15 were found at the second floor level. 2 survivors, including a woman believed to be the children's mother and her oldest daughter, jumped out a window to escape the flames. Tonight, both are listed in critical condition. Sadly, the New York Fire Department says there's no evidence that there were any working smoke detectors inside that home. New details are emerging tonight in an attack at New Orleans International Airport. That's where a man armed with a machete was shot after threatening TSA agents. ABC's Candace Gibson has the latest on the investigation.
Chaos and panic at airport security.
Some guy came through with a machete, apparently.
Passengers running, injured victims waiting for help, and a bloody machete lying on the ground in the middle of it all.
People screaming and running and hitting the floor.
This is the suspect, 62-year-old Richard White. Investigators say he stormed into the terminal at Louis Armstrong Airport and attacked TSA agents first with a can of wasp spray, then with that 14-inch blade.
And I started swinging my suitcase at him, and he runs the other way right into a TSA agent.
That's when a sheriff's deputy opened fire.
Outside is here. Gun myself. I hear, pow! I was like, oh, snap.
3 of the bullets hit White. 1 strikes TSA agent Carol Rochelle, who was running ahead of him, yelling at passengers to get to safety. Today, she showed off her wound and talked about the deputy who took action.
I have to say, Officer Sleeth is my hero. She saved my life. The man was within inches of whacking me with the machete, and she did save my life.
White survived. Investigators on scene found evidence that the attack could have been worse. In his car, smoke bombs and tanks of oxygen and freon gas. The bomb squad called in to check out the bag dropped at security, leaking a mysterious liquid.
Half-pint mason jars with cloth wicks into a liquid that we now know to be gasoline, which you would commonly refer to as a Molotov cocktail.
While the motive remains a mystery, White's family is cooperating with authorities and confirms mental illness is a factor. Candace Gibson, ABC News, New Orleans.
An accident involving a chairlift forced officials to evacuate hundreds of skiers from the chairlift at Sugarloaf Mountain in Maine. Take a look. This is really a skier's nightmare, who having to be lowered to the ground from the broken chairlift. At least 7 people were hurt when the chairlift suddenly started moving backwards this morning. At this point, it's not clear what caused that lift to malfunction, but it's closed while officials investigate. Let's turn back now to 7 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Dave Lexroth. Nice afternoon today, but change in store for tomorrow?
Yeah, a little bit here. It's going to be brighter overall. By the way, if they would have had that chairlift broke in Boston, they would have been jumping off of it and videotaping it and showing the world. They had so much snow there, they were doing that earlier in the year. Hey, it's just begun now. The little daffodils daring to pop their head out of the somewhat still frozen soil. So they're usually some of the first to come. I saw pictures of crocus this week too, so from an unnamed viewer, but we appreciate the pictures, that's for sure. Temperatures like this help out. 51. It was cool